with a lot of information. We have a lot of questions, and a lot of them are not getting answered. One of those that is huge is the issue of insulin resistance and understanding the hormones of the human body and how, in particular, insulin plays a key role in addressing many of the chronic diseases that we have today. It's not to be taken lightly, and it's something that affects between 88 and 93% of everyone alive today. So I want to jump right into this particular call with Yvette Felder-Oxfeld, who is a nurse and a diabetes educator, one of the leading lecturers, somebody that is talking about this, not just in the sense of the information, but the application. So let's jump in and let's hear from Yvette today.
So I guess I'll try to share my screen. The reason I'm doing this the way I'm doing this is because I actually had a conversation with an MD when I asked an MD what his fasting insulin was, and he just looked at me like I was crazy. So we're going to talk today, and y'all, if I mess up sharing my screen, that's just the rite of passage, right? All right, let's do this. All right, I'm kind of like Diane, this covers all your stuff. Okay, can y'all see my screen? Can y'all see me?
Yes. Yep.
So the ominous octet, great term. What does it mean? It's basically the body isn't just about the pancreas. The entire body is affected by diabetes from head to toe. Jackie brought up so many things that people don't even think about, right? Nobody talks about teeth and eyes and all that. So today we're going to learn a little bit about insulin. Insulin is a hormone. It is not blood sugar. Why does that sound silly? Because when I asked a doctor about what his fasting insulin was, he just looked at me like I was crazy. Because unfortunately in the United States, we are very glucose-centric, Ben Bickman. We chase glucose. I used to chase my patients down for glucose logs. If I was to do it now, I'd want to know what their fasting schedule was. How many carbohydrates did they eat? Keep your blood sugar laws. Let's keep focused on insulin, because as Ben Bickman would say, getting insulin down is key to future health. I can tell you what you eat for breakfast, whether you're going to have diabetes or not. True story. So insulin is a hormone. You've got cortisol. We all know cortisol, and we've got insulin. They work against each other. Cortisol raises glucose and insulin brings it down. Yes, it's easier to control insulin than it is to control cortisol. So we'll just start there. To get glucose into a cell, right, you have to have, you got to have a GLUT4 transporter, insulin to get it into the cell. Insulin is needed to get it into the cell. Cells use sugar for energy, and insulin is the key that opens that door, right? Seems pretty simple. Hormone insulin is very important. The fact that they're giving you insulin for type 2, we'll get to that. So insulin is a hormone. So let's remember that. Then you've got glucose. You've got insulin and you've got glucose. Oh, let me move myself. I can't even read my screen. What y'all think about these? Look at these slides. Yes, we do need sugar for energy, but your body runs on 1 teaspoon of glucose. That is the cube. Your body at any given time runs on 1 teaspoon of glucose. I want y'all to remember that. Your brain needs glucose to survive, but your liver will give what you need, right? So when your trainer says you need it to get muscles and have brain energy, you'll get it, right? I did an explanation the other day about your Chevy Tahoe. If I drive my Chevy Tahoe past 400 miles, it stops, right? Can we agree with that? I mean, it's an engine. Our body is so amazing that when all the sugar's gone, you have another fuel called ketones. So sugar is very important. I'm not anti-sugar. I'm anti-abuse of sugar. So this is why we need the muscle, because muscle is a glucose disposal. 80% of what brings down glucose is muscle tissue. So that's why every time I teach, I always bring up muscle training. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is an amazing, amazing graphic, Diane Weaver. You eat the sugar. Your brain says sugar's coming, pancreas release insulin to help that get into the cell. Insulin says, come on in, Sugar goes inside, all is well with the world. What's the problem in America? We do this all day long, and your body still makes the insulin. So insulin is stored, and it's just this vicious cycle. Then you become insulin resistant. Why is that really important to understand? We'll get there. Insulin is the key that unlocks the cell to give your body the energy it needs. That's how our bodies were made. That is the innateness of the human body. If you look at the cell, look at the glucose transporters, very important. And remember, well, I'll get to that. Anyway, so what is insulin resistance? That's why we're here. If someone had told Jackie Brown 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that she had a high fasting insulin, she would have never gone to Tiffany. She wouldn't have gone to the pharmacist. She would have said, let me control my insulin, which controls glucose. Insulin resistance is the best thing to know. It is the key stops working. Ben Bickman. What does he say? When the children scream all day, mom is used to it, dad is not. We start resisting the insulin. The door doesn't open. Sugar stays in the blood. Sugar goes wherever it can. What happens when you're insulin resistant? The liver, the muscle, the brain, the fat, everybody will hoard that sugar. That's what fatty liver is, right? But guess what the body does? Just keeps making more insulin. Insulin is a fat hormone. When it is high, fat is high. When it is low, fat will go. If you identify with anything in this picture, chances are you will, because 93% of us identify with that. Heart disease, obesity, migraines, dementia, Alzheimer's, type 3 diabetes. Fatty liver is the fastest reason for ER visits in America. Because where does sugar go to be stored? Your liver, Ben Bickman, is like the soccer mom. I'll take it. Get in the car. The liver taketh. And then when it's full, you get the visceral fat. Do you see how that just keeps cycling over and over again, right? Look at this picture. And but for the fact that no one told you, Jackie, to control your carbohydrate and your sugar intake. And newsflash, oatmeal is sugar. It doesn't have to be white and fluffy. If it breaks down in your body is sugar, it's sugar, right? So recognize this picture, and if you see any part of this, you have hope. Hope. Why is it too much sugar a problem? What did I just say? When insulin is high, fat is high. When sugar is high, we have problems like blindness, glaucoma, gastroparesis, your stomach's not working. What is neuropathy? What is Alzheimer's dementia? Type 3, that sugar's just in there churning and burning. How many of you eat and then 30 minutes later get hungry? Because insulin's also a hunger hormone. It's that vicious cycle. Eat, insulin stays up, repeat all day long. When your cells stop listening to insulin, you have a problem. 1 teaspoon of glucose runs the human body at any given time, right? This is survival mode. You can look over here at the really cute stuff over there. Okay, so how did we get here? How did we get here? If you know how you got here, you know how to reverse the process. Too much sugar, processed foods, because you check out how many people run through the drive-through, not enough movement, and eating all day long. Normal eating is 2 to 3 meals a day. I know Kellogg said that breakfast is the most important meal so they can serve you more cereal. That's a lie. Have you ever fed a toddler when they're not hungry? They eat intuitively. So listen to the ghrelin hormone that tells you you're hungry. That means your cells are growing. Too much sugar. How much sugar does your body need to run at any time? 1 teaspoon. Okay. What are processed foods? Bags, boxes, barcodes, Ben Bickman. If it comes in a box and it's in the shelf and can last forever, you don't need it. Prioritize protein. Do not fear fat. Fasting is what your dog does when they're sick, right? They go and they hide. And if you have any movement in the day, 1 minute of exercise lowers your glucose 1 point. If you have any guesses, you CGM wearers, check it out. Eat your meal, protein, fat, fiber, and go for a walk. Get to stepping. Okay. So, how many of you identify with that picture? Unfortunately, I did. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, I was a cute little swimsuit model back in my 20s. All of a sudden, I was like, wow, I have muffin top. So when your body, that's just that central adiposity. That's where our body stores all of our fat, you know, women. Too much insulin is what damages your vessels, right? Oh, I don't know what that last line says. Hold on. Okay. Eat the processed food. Insulin stays up 4 hours. Eat, inject, repeat is what they want you to do. But what we're going to empower you to do tonight is to learn how to not be Jackie from 2000 to 2026. We're going to teach you how to have a better quality of life, right? Okay. So why do I call this the ominous octet? Because people don't understand all of the organs that are affected by diabetes. It is so important for you to know the right labs, to know why you have visceral fat and fatty liver. Do you know if you have fatty liver? Do you know if you have brain fog? The insulin secretion, eventually your body just says, I'm done. Your liver giveth up. If you notice that your glucagon, I'm not even getting into that. So 8 parts of your body get affected. I always tell people, start at the top, go to your feet. From diabetes, from dementia to neuropathy, everything's affected. Erectile dysfunction, PCOS, migraines. It is something that you can prevent and something that you can reverse, right? Okay. Know your liver function. Know that muscle brings down 80% of what brings down glucose is muscle. How much fat? Look at your stomach. Is your waistline larger than your height in inches? You know, because you've got the different fat, the pancreas. How's your pancreas functioning? Your brain, it literally is swimming in glucose. Your kidneys, CKD, one of the fastest growing diseases, your kidneys are working overtime. What does your gut look like? Right? Okay. So weight gain, low energy, fatty liver, type 2 diabetes. If you understand how to properly eat protein, fat, fiber, fasting, muscle training, and sleep, all of these will reverse itself. That's where the hope comes in, right? When you lower insulin, how do you lower insulin? Fasting, exercise, skipping carbohydrates, and skipping sugar. Understand that you have those creepy carbs, the sugar drinks, the Starbucks. Unfortunately, I had a conversation with someone today. We have a lot of work to do. People still do not understand that bread is a carb, right? So when you stop the insulin rises and you stop that dopamine, the dopamine receptors, better food, better movement, and better mood, right? Okay. So simple steps to help your body. Move your body, eat real food, give your body time without eating. 18 hours, 6, 16 hours, 8, 20 hours, 4. Fiber first, protein. And if you have carbs, you have them at the end of the day, and you make sure that your carbs come from a ground. Sorry, pizza is not from the ground. I know pizza is really good, but pizza is not from the ground. If you fast, start slow, 12 hours, 13 the next day, 14 the next day. Stop the snacking. You're not 2. Snacks are for toddlers, and most of them are dessert, right? How many people eat steak for snack? You don't. You eat muffins. I had a woman today tell me that she has to have her pretzels. I'm like, you don't. So look at your cabinet. Don't snack. If you're not hungry in the morning, don't eat. That is the moment that your insulin is as low as it's going to go, and it's when you're on prime fat burning mode. Ooh, what's next? Okay. So your body is not broken. If you understand that it just wants to heal, your body is yelling at you, skin tags. High blood pressure is a sign that something's going wrong. The acanthus nigricans, the large waistline, you can't feel your feet, you can't have a child, you can't have an erection. These are your body telling you, stop feeding me junk. The high blood pressure is trying to protect you. And the sad thing is no one gives you control, they give you meds. No offense to the doctors on here, but if you ask the right questions, why are you giving me insulin if I'm insulin resistant? What causes my blood sugar to rise? Why am I in here every 3 months, metformin, Invokana, Farxiga? When does it end? They're just following an algorithm given to them by the pharmaceutical company. Sorry, I had to memorize it. And they're just following protocol. If you ask the right questions, you'll get the right answers. Get the right labs, because honestly, you're not broken. The system is broken. Oh, wow. So basically, the point of my whole speech, oh, wait, I can stop sharing. Hold on. Sorry, I'm not used to doing calls. I'm going to go back to what I said originally. Prevent, reverse, and empower yourself to do better for yourself. If I could tell my dad, no, you can't have the grits anymore, Dad, he may have had more quality of life. So at the end of the day, ask the right questions, get the right labs, and absolutely be an advocate. And I'm gonna quote Mindy Pelz: know more about your disease when you walk into the small waiting room. Mm-hmm. If you don't understand how your numbers are high and how to change them, you have no hope. And today, this is hope. And I hope that if you ask, anybody have any questions, but if I gave you any hope, know your fasting insulin, know your CRP, know your triglycerides, know your blood pressure, and know why you're insulin resistant, right?
Thank you, Yvette, for sharing that and giving us some more insight into insulin resistance. Thank you all for being here this morning, those of y'all that are coming in. And if you are dealing with any of those, I know that's kind of small, you probably can't read it, but if you saw earlier, if you go back in the video, this will be over on my YouTube channel. The whole issue of insulin resistance lies in this. We are eating all day. That's one of the things that, as a diabetes educator, Yvette went into it. We are eating all the time. And when we do that, this is as simple as it gets. It is a very simple thing. Our blood sugar increases and our insulin increases. It's not about the calories. It isn't. Calories are fine. They're important. That is a measure of the energy. But what's happening is your hormones. And getting that under control is going to be key to your health and reversing the chronic issues of insulin resistance. If you are tired of the high blood pressure, if you're tired of going to the doctor once a month, maybe every 3 months, whatever it happens to be, because you feel that need, you feel that pressure because of the chronic diseases that you have, you need to start asking more questions. You need to be educating yourself. That's part of why Healthy Together and Feeling Great, that's what we do. It's what we help with. If you are interested in learning more, reach out to me. Scan that QR code. Make sure that you like this, comment, let me know that you're here, subscribe to the channel. Ask me questions anytime that I'm live. Thank you so much for being here. Really excited that you had a chance to be on this call. We'll talk a little bit more about what solutions are available to it. One of those is, and I think the best one, is something called the Feel Great system. It is something that I have been on for over close to 2 years now, actually. And that is a very simple system that simply requires drinking a tea. And I do 2 fibers every day, simply because this makes all the difference in the world. It has changed my life. I listened to my wife and it changed my life. I listen to people like Yvette. I listen to people like Dr. Tiffany Marie. I listen to the people that have helped me to reverse my insulin resistance, and it changed my life. I started on this very simple protocol, changing my lifestyle patterns without having to do medications, and it changed my life. So make sure this has been helpful for you, that you like and subscribe. Follow us here at Healthy Together Feel Great on YouTube, or if you're coming in on LinkedIn, I do these almost every day during the week. So check back in anytime if you want to learn more. This one was the ominous octet about your overall health and all the ways that it impacts you. Thank y'all so much for being here. If you want to get in touch with me, there's my QR code. Go to my link tree, reach out or subscribe, and we'll talk to you. We'll see you back.